Good morning.
Good morning.
If anybody has ever doubted our dedication to this, which I don't think they have, it's currently 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So
Inside the work. Okay, let's rank some people. Um,
I'm so excited for this. I,
this week
I
was
I don't think I would have woken up
no, I agree. If it wasn't for this
if
week,
if Alex if Alex went home, I wouldn't have woken up.
I literally wouldn't have woken up either. This week has been, I think, the theme of the week is big power players whine and bitch that their puppets didn't do what they asked of them to do. The puppets got brains this week, my friends, and you
Mm,
gotta deal with it.
barely, literally barely.
Barely got brains. They used, I mean, we'll get to people. However, so yeah, essentially, Victoria won HOH. She nominated Cassidy and Haley with the goal of taking Haley out. Haley won the veto. So she wanted to backdoor someone, and she chose to backdoor Alex after thinking that he was the sniper, yada, yada, yada. Alex explained everything to Anthony and Victoria, said, I am not coming after you. I have no intention of doing so. I've been feeling this way for a while, and everything that I've heard just confirms that Dan and Kristen are not, they're viewing me as their number three, their number four, their number five. And I'm not playing for three, four, five. So he made a move and he said, Anthony and Victoria, like, I am not coming after you, but like I would really love your vote and your blessing. They said, no, it's dumb. Alex always gets far. Well, meanwhile,
No,
yeah,
that's
Alex
not what
only got
happened. They
past this
said,
point
okay. They
two out
said,
of three times.
they said, they said,
Alex always wins out.
okay,
No,
that's not
he's
what
not
happened.
wins on a season that had Battle of the Block and has only ever won one competition across his first two seasons. So it's just stupid. They should have just
No, they said at first they said, okay, Alex, you're making sense.
yeah. We'll get to them specifically when we get to them. But yeah, the overall arching of the week is they said no,
No,
which
they said
normally would
yes,
have
and then they
been
changed their mind back.
they said no, which normally would have been enough for Alex to go home. But thank God for David Fassbender. Um,
I agree. So true. Anyway, now while Scott's frozen, I'm gonna explain that they said yes originally, and then the next night, after um Haley won the veto, they talked to Anthony, or that Anthony and Victoria talked to Kristen and Dan, and um they were like they apologized and they were like, okay, Alex is going up again. So there was a whole day period where Alex was safe. Also, Scott is still frozen. Yes. So let's just start rankings. I think you
yeah,
can.
let's just do it. Um,
Um, okay, Alex.
yeah, I would love to. I'm gonna give my ranking, and then I would love to give my if Alex went home ranking, which is a very different ranking for
See,
everyone.
it's really funny because my rankings for people are really, really different than they were in the middle of the week.
Yes, oh for sure.
They
Okay,
were
so let's
they
start with Alex. Alex last week had fours from both of us. Um, this week, Alex finally played the game that we have been asking him to play all freaking season long. Thank you. If you are mad that Dan is not giving you information and is not giving you in, and you're clearly number four, great, make a move. And you know what he did? He did it. Um, he pulled in David. He tried to pull in Anthony, who was dumb. Um, he got Maris on his side, like for now. He locked in Haley. He got Brian. Like it's all really good things. Um, the only thing is he almost did it one like he needed to do this before he was on the block and going home. So that's why people were a little hesitant to believe it, even though he was completely telling the truth. I'm hoping from this point moving forward it works out better for him. And I locked in my ranking before this HOH happened, but this HOH outcome I think is one of, if not the worst possible scenario for him.
Mhm.
Um, because I do see currently Alex and David touching the block, and if noms stay the same, Alex is going home, not David. Um, Between Anthony and Victoria and Maris alone, it doesn't matter what Kristen and oh no, it could 3-3. Okay, so maybe. But either way, um, after this week and after he clutch saved himself and has a lot of the house on his side, I can't not raise my score. But I'm still not in a green score yet because he is on the outs of that group as well. I'm going up to a 5.
That's actually also where I am this week. I was on the FaceTime call with Anthony and Victoria and Alex, um, when it was happening a few nights ago. And I was really ready to go up like a lot because I was like, okay, this is working. They're saying that they're not going to put him on the block anymore. Blah 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 blah. And then of course he went up, and I was like, oh shit, okay. Um, so disregarding this past HOH, I really think that him staying this week, he has solidified himself with a lot of the house. I mean, at least one side of the house, which is good, better than where he was at before. Um, so yeah, I think we could see him wiggle by this week though.
I hope so. I really hope for him. The issue is with things like Beach Patrol and the veto, that's possibly 3 people that get safety, and if he's not one of them, good luck.
I hope it's Alex and Riley that win safety today.
I would love it to be. And then David Fosbender for veto challenge.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Anthony.
Disclaimer. At one point in the week, I was fully prepared to give Anthony a 10.
I was gonna give Anthony a 10 too. And you know what that point is? That point of the week is if 2 seconds.
Okay.
I fully agree. I was going to give Anthony a 10, and all he had to do to get the 10 was sit and say nothing. I did it truthfully. My score for Cassidy going home or for Alex going home for Anthony was a 10. All he had to do was sit and say nothing. Either of them was perfectly good for him because if Alex goes, you've got an even like two-side split house going after each other with you in the middle. And with Cassidy going, you have an even-sided three-way split house. Alex, Riley, Haley, Kristen, Dan, Maris, David, you and Victoria in the middle. Like, truthfully, you couldn't ask for it to be any better. But instead of being smart and maintaining his amazing position, he actively, well, first he was smart and heard Alex out and was like, you know what, Alex staying would not be so bad. He wasn't going to do anything to maybe necessarily flip it himself, but he was like, Alex staying, not so bad. I hear his points. As soon as someone else wanted it,
I
David,
know.
Anthony was like, no, no, this can't happen. No.
He
And I'm like,
said it.
Anthony, like, you're not that powerful that you can just decide what happened. Like, I'm sorry, it was good for other people, therefore it happened. And if you just sat there and quit whining, you would be in the number one position. You would have a 10 from me because Alex staying is great for you because Alex is not coming after you and he needs to get over his delusion because now he's going off. I'm like, Alex does this every season. No, Alex has never made this is only the second time he's made it to this point. Alex always lies to people. No, Alex is not a liar in the game. He's a smart player that unfortunately, like Alex is not a liar. Alex is a lot of things. He's a great player. Alex is not a liar. Alex always comes out to the end. Okay, first 2 seasons, he won one competition, and he has won 0 this season. The competition win that's on his record right now was Caitlin Powell's and Haley's competition win. Okay, so Alex comping out to the end over Cassidy is ridiculous. Cassidy is second place in the most HOHs, and has also won nothing this season. Like they are the same in my eyes. So stupid, dumb reasoning. And now he ran his mouth. And now Alex is in his DR and he was like, wow, I really trusted Anthony. I really tried with him. I would have worked with him, but he actively campaigned against me. And Victoria wanted me out. Why would I work with him now? And now you do have 2 people. And I think Riley too, because Riley now leans more to Dan after they had a great conversation. Dan really saved that. Um, and I think Riley goes for Anthony and Victoria and Kristen more than she does for Dan and David. So like
I
Anthony
just
screwed this up this week.
I just don't understand because he knows and has said that he knows he needs to turn on Cassidy and Dan. And Dan has said it about him. So I don't
But
understand.
as but as soon as he's not the one to do it, it can't happen. That's the thing. Anthony has to be in the power position, and he can't play unless he's not there. Usually, that's what this is, in my opinion,
But
because we
he
saw it in
could
season
have like
two. He was in the power
I just
position,
don't
and he
understand.
killed
Like he
it.
could have let them take out Cassidy and weaken Dan. Like he knows it's gonna be him versus Dan at one point. I just don't understand why. Like it was so annoying the way he was like, "Wow, Alex is making points," and then someone else said it, and he was like, "Actually, I wanted to be the one to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to do it anymore." Like, shut up! You're being a big baby and annoying.
Yeah, no, literally, David's GR was exactly correct. Anthony needs to stop his bitch ass whining. It's already happening. So get on board and save yourself,
It
or
almost didn't.
don't.
Okay.
And guess what? He didn't get on board. Therefore, I do not raise my score. I lower my score a lot for where he's at. I'm going down to a 7.
That's also where I'm going. Oh my gosh. Um. Yeah. It's like
Stupid. You just had to sit there and say nothing. It was good for you no matter what. You just had to sit there, say nothing, and you would get a 10. But he doesn't know how to do that.
oh gosh. I know. He really like I we said last week, I think he was gonna win the game. Like
Oh, absolutely. If I think this game could have been sealed right now had Anthony shut up, taken Alex's deal, let Cassidy go, made a three-way split house with him in the middle. Yeah.
okay, Cassidy.
So Cassidy has started to plummet, and that is because um truthfully, as soon as we got to the last week of as soon as like literally as soon as Cade went home, Cade was her first one of like the allies that like could have been for her. And then Matthew went home. She really showed, we saw it in season 4. She's playing like I'll give Cassie this. She's a very loyal player. And that can be good, but not in a season where it's not like a two-sided house or a big alliance or anything. Because she was loyal to like at this point strictly Dan and Anthony. And literally her entire campaign for a while was like, Anthony, you have to make sure I'm not on the block. No, Cassidy, you have to make sure you're on the block because you need to talk to people and manage your relationships. Anthony is correct. He can't, as much as he can talk to Victoria and talk things out, he cannot control her and what she wants. Victoria is her own person. Same thing with like Dan talking to Alex, per se, before this week. If Alex won HOH, Cassidy would have gone up, and Dan could not have done anything about that. So Cassidy this week really, unfortunately, it caught up with her a lot sooner than we thought it would. That depending on others to make allies for you rather than doing it yourself ain't gonna fly. For me, this caught up with her. I have no choice but to give her a 2 because even her campaign was bad. Like
Yeah, seriously.
Alex was just levels above her this
She
week.
literally just like barely did anything for campaigning.
Well, no, she did a lot for campaigning, but it was all like,
Not
I
like
will not backdoor you or nominate you till the end of the season. It's dumb. It's not smart. I'm with you.
ugh.
It's like you can't be with everyone, and you've said you were Dan. It's just not gonna work. So I'm at a 2.
I'm only gonna go down to a 3. But yeah, this was not good. I'm um I'm so
Yeah,
glad for the sake of the game that she went home though. Like literally.
yeah. Cassidy going home blew this game wide open.
Thank God. We really needed it. Um okay. Dan.
And wow.
I've been
I
saying for weeks,
I didn't believe
David
him.
going
I did
after
not believe that
David,
Alex would talk.
Going after David blindly, I think was probably the reason he got screwed this week.
Yeah, it's for sure.
Because all it took was Alex going to David being like, Dan is relentlessly going after you. Um,
Literally, yeah, Alex has built up anger and listen, Dan after this eviction and during this eviction loved to whine and go, I can't believe I trusted Alex. I really wanted to work with him. Blah 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 blah. Well, Dan, you're ranting to the people that you would have chosen over Alex, first of all, and you outright said that in you said, here's my list of loyalty in this house of the final 10. Alex 5, and it's like, okay, can you blame him? Like what? Um, in addition, he's like, I really trusted Alex. I would have like gone with him in the end. This is so stupid. I'm like I would have brought him into the alliance. He's complaining that he wasn't in the alliance. I would have done it. Well, like Dan, the thing is, you didn't. I
Dude.
don't care if you would have. You didn't. And Alex was absolutely correct that Dan was literally, Alex said it perfectly. Dan was keeping him on a leash. Dan wanted to give him information, but said, no, you cannot use this for yourself. You have to sit quiet with it and then just like do what our numbers want because it'll help you. But you can't go and use this for your own game. And guess what? Alex used it for his own game, and look at Dan now. And listen, I won't lie. I really love that Dan has done, like, it's made me really happy that Dan has done so well this season. And I still want to see him go far.
Mm-hmm.
But I love a power flip and I love to watch him struggle. It makes me really happy. I can't lie. I was very happy with this. And I would have been, listen, I would have been more than happy if Dan went home this week. However, Dan won HOH, which
Which I almost like. I didn't want him to go home this week. I want him to
um
get like to the end ish.
I agree. I didn't necessarily want him to go home this week, but I won't lie. I did not want him to win HOH this week. I would
No,
have
I
rather
didn't.
him win veto or a beach patrol.
Yeah.
Um, but say la vie, this will definitely be an interesting meet. Before he won HOH, I set in this score and I'm sticking to it. And I don't think it's actually going to be much better after this HOH because I don't know what he can do positioning wise, but a lot can change.
What was it?
I was at a 7 last week for Dan. This might be my biggest drop. I'm going down to a 3.
Wow.
After this week, I'm looking at the board and I see Alex won't stand out. David won't stand out. Haley won't stand out. Maris won't stand out. Victoria won't stand out. Riley's fine with Dan going out. That is 6 out of the final 8 people that he's playing with.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I only went down to a 4 and I was at a 6. So, um, but yeah, I agree that there are a lot of people coming after him, but especially in weeks like hold on, 3.5.
Thank you.
Especially in weeks that we have a beach patrol and a veto, like I just don't like assuming that anybody is going home because there's so much to happen, but I do agree like at least he has well, I was gonna say at least he has Kristen. At least he has Kristen on his side. Who even Kristen is like, Dan, like you're fucking me up. Like you
Kristen and Riley both are not going to actively target Dan, but they're both pissed at him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, that's what I this week has been crazy.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Okay. Yeah, that's a plummet.
He
That's a
said I
plummeting.
can already see I can already see you guys giving me the 4.5 this week. Rip. 3 bucks.
Yeah. This is bad.
David Fosbetter.
Okay. Listen, I cannot I cannot bite my tongue no more. That's not a phrase, and I have not been biting my tongue.
I was gonna say, I'm not
All
even biting your
season, all season long, we've been giving David low to mediocre scores because he's not saying anything. He's just skating by. He's being targeted. And David has been saying, when I get to jury, I'm gonna wake up. And you know what I said? I said it feels like you're Andrew Kalmeyer right now, and I don't believe you.
It feels like your alarm clock did not go off.
It feels like you're hitting the snooze button
And then
when
all of a
when
sudden,
since week 3 it said bing, bing, bing. Well, all of a sudden the fucking fire alarm went off, and David said, I cannot sleep no more. I gotta get out the house and I got to play. Okay? Because this week was incredible. This is why we love David Fassbender. And it's because this week it was very clear. Like, he was so correct. For Anthony, sure. Alex going home was better. And David literally said, I don't give a damn. Yeah, and like Anthony, I'm close with you, but I'm playing my game. And this what I want to do is so much better for me. And thank goodness that he is close with Maris, Rat Queen puppet herself, and was able to talk to her. And Maris used, everyone say it with me, logic and reasoning. It's a rare occurrence for Miss Meyer, but she did it. Um, she did it, and that's largely due to Alex's great campaign and David's great, like, keeping on top of Maris. Like, good job. Yes, yes, yes.
Every 20 minutes, he would be like, Maris, are we still good? Maris, are we still good?
And he
He'd
needed
be
to
like,
because every other 20 minutes, Maris would give Anthony the update. Okay, I'm keeping Alex, and Anthony would be like, no, and Maris was like, that's such a good point.
possibly if the
Okay, now
eviction was a half hour later, like,
or half hour earlier.
or like, that's why I was worried. I was like, Maris keeps flipping back and forth, and
This eviction needed to win
wherever
at
she
some
is when
point
the
in the
eviction
weekend.
happens is gonna be the entire rest of the game.
Um, so I was very impressed with David's game. So here's the thing. David this week in doing so, like Jan and Kristen, although they were like Alex, 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 like they're still mad at David. However, I
Oh,
do
who
think
the
that
fuck care? Like, I don't give a shit. Like,
truthfully, I think that Dan is the only one that still has a blood vengeance for David. Because Anthony is certainly not as close with David anymore. But where is he gonna go after, like, you know what I mean? Alex is in with David. Haley isn't necessarily in with David, but isn't going after David. Um, Maris is with David. Victoria is not going to turn on David unless Anthony says so. And Riley is also not going to turn on David after this. Like, David is in a significantly better position, and I'm raising my score to David's first green score of the season because of his amazing gameplay. And it is just rather unfortunate that Dan won HOH this week. So we'll see what happens this week. I really want David to stay. Like, more than anything, I want David to stay this week.
let's look at
So,
these competitions this week. Locked and loaded. Uh, and then I don't think he's gonna win Morph. So,
yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I am raising my score and I'm going up to a 6 for David.
um, here's what I'll say. David, although we've consistently been saying like David's doing nothing, David's skating by, like you said, not once this season has David done something that wasn't good for him.
Exactly. That's what we want to see, people.
So the second that something happened that wasn't going to be good for him, he flipped the script, which gives me like it's so much different than just skating by because if you're agreeing with what's happening and it's good for you, then why would you try to do anything to change it? Like that
Exactly,
doesn't make any
exactly.
sense.
That's what we saw with Riley before too, when like K-Pow was gonna go home.
So you just mentioned all of the people that aren't coming after David. And really after that whole thing, David had such a power position this week. And he like first of all, such entertaining DRs. Like miss those, David. Um really after this week, Dan was I thought was gonna be out the door. So my score was at a 7 for David. And I need some high scores this week. So like I gotta get that up there. I like I'm so excited to see what David does, and I hope he can stay in it.
I
Alex, David, and Riley need to all be safe.
tri
Sorry, Haley.
trio final three, Alex, David, and Riley. Bring it home.
We'll see.
Okay.
Haley.
Haley. Haley last week had a 4 from me and a 5 from you.
Mm.
Um, okay, here's what I'll say about Haley. I am happy that Haley has come back and has not said, okay, first boot of the jury is this person. Second boot of the jury is this person. Then I'll win HOH. And third boot of the jury is that like, no, Haley, it was never going to work. But you came back and you've done good. You've made inroads with Christian. You've made inroads with Alex. You've
Which
made
now doesn't
inroads with
exist anymore.
Riley. Good, 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 good. Haley is now in
A
the
boat.
worst version of the Anthony position, in my opinion. If there are 3 tiers to the Anthony position, the Anthony position would have been situated between all sides of the house, and everyone wanted to work with him. Tier 2, we'll get to later. I believe someone else is in tier 2. Haley's in tier 3. She's in the middle of all of the sides, right? No one is targeting her. She'll be good in theory. However, because the sides are so small, she is so expendable to literally everyone. Um, I have as of now, Haley has a tough time getting to the end. A lot of game is still left to be played, but like she doesn't have the allies to get herself there. And that's my one concern for Haley. It's not immediate danger, but like I could see the thing happening with Haley that like happened with even Cassidy this week. It's like if she lands on the block and all of a sudden someone wants to keep the person next to her, she's done. I don't see a huge vengeance to get Haley out anytime soon, but things could just flip, unfortunately. I'm going to raise my score. She was on the right side of the vote. She did gain more allies than she had last week. I'm going to go up to a 5.
I'm also gonna stay at my 5. Um, it like they were Alex and Haley. The week would have been so different if them two and Kristen won safety this week. But
Yeah, yeah.
holy,
Oh my
and they
God.
were so close.
The
So
noms would have
basically,
been
what
Cassidy and Riley.
what happened was we were on a FaceTime call with them, and then all of a sudden David sends in the correct phrase. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? That was like my nightmare. But I guess I'm glad it happened because Cassidy went home. So um yeah, I said that because I think she really made a deep connection with Alex on that FaceTime call, and they really enjoyed each other a lot. And I think that was really honestly one of the main reasons why she gave him her vote
Yes,
this week.
100%.
Because
And also because Cassidy depended on Dan and Anthony to talk to Haley for her and didn't do it until this week. But okay.
well, also Alex said in his DR like, um, if the to prove my loyalty to Victoria, like if Haley is the target, like I'll go on her beach patrol team and I'll throw it. Um, and that's why they ended up together, which is so funny. And that's why pretty much why he stayed. Um,
Sorry, jumping back to Alex real fast, but his conversation with Haley on that FaceTime and his conversation with Maris during the overnight, like those two things singularly saved him because Alex
and his
is,
conversation with Maris again. He
and
his a conversation with Maris last night literally saved his ass.
yes, but like I'm talking like specifically just like the personal good conversations because Alex has come into the season and said like more than anything I want to have a good time and I want to meet people and I want to talk to them and listen. As much as that's not like quote playing the game, that's how you get allies. And that's what people don't realize. And what I hate to see is now Dan and Kristen and Anthony on FaceTime being like, wow, I really trusted Alex. I thought he just wanted to be on FaceTime because he wanted to be friends with us. And Anthony's like, no, that's what he fucking does. And I'm like, no, like Alex is what I wish everyone played the game as. Play for yourself, play it nice, but play it cutthroat. That's what you do. That's why we love Alex so much. That's why we love David so much this season. Because he's not being an ass like he was in season one. Um, um, and we're seeing that from Haley, and we're currently not seeing that from Dan and Anthony and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Haley, as well as the split house. Alrighty,
Can't remember if I updated.
Kristen. Okay. We can't say that I went the whole season without saying good things about Kristen. I said them last week. Now we're here. um, listen, listen. This week it could have gone better for Kristen. It could have. Could have gone a lot
Be
better.
fair, like a lot of the things that happened this week that were bad for her were not really her fault.
None of them were her fault. Truthfully, none of them were her fault. And that's why, well, I'm looking at my score. I'm gonna fault her a bit. But um that's why I'm still feeling good about I am still feeling good about Kristen. Because everyone's targets are at Dan. And like it's a
Exactly.
thing, it could air out well where if Dan left this, let's say Alex left, right? And let's say someone from the other side won HOH and Dan and Kristen were the nominees. Dan goes home. Great. Of Kristen and Cassidy, Kristen goes home, right?
For sure.
With Cassidy out of the game, assuming that Dan goes home relatively soon, like if Dan goes before Kristen, it leaves Kristen totally alone. And I think people are stupid to take the shot at Kristen then. So with Beach Patrol and Veto, it is like shaky. Well, I guess there's no more Beach Patrol that Kristen has to worry about, but it is like shaky where it's like, okay, as soon as Dan wins safety, she's the next one up on the block. But so long as she outlives Dan, I still think she does have a shot. But this week was not great for her. I don't understand why Anthony and Victoria were so quick to be like, no, fuck Alex. Let's trust the girl that nominated us. Like, that rubs me the wrong way. And we've already talked about Anthony and why he's stupid. But um, so yeah. Where are you going for Kristen? Or what are your thoughts on Kristen?
Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like a lot of the things that happened this week were not her fault at all. The whole thing that got flipped back on her with the sniper was her telling Dan, who told Alex, who told Anthony and Victoria. So she was super, super pissed at Dan. Um, I am I'm honestly a little upset in the sense that the week shaped out like this because I want Kristen to be the one soon to cut Dan, but now that
Now it's
they're
not gonna
all like
happen.
pretty much alone, it's not going to happen. I think it could have happened earlier if Dan was continued on his high horse steamroll uh vision delusion. But it's not gonna happen anymore. Um, I mean, it sucks to keep going like lowering my score on people.
Oh,
This
this week before, if Alex went home, straight up, everyone's scores would have either stayed the same or go down. Alex coming home was that bad for everyone.
everybody like people are so stupid.
Yeah, literally no. So yeah, like my a lot of my scores still lower this week because this is bad gameplay from everyone, from most
Oh,
people.
and I look at this, and pretty much everybody on the other side of the house, disregarding HOH this week, puts Dan and Kristen up.
Correct.
But Dan goes home unless he wins veto or unless like, but if he wins veto or if he wins safety, like Kristen's the backup option.
Yeah,
So for that reason, I'm gonna go one score above what I had for Dan. I'm gonna give her a 5.
and that's exactly what I did. But I'm giving Kristen a 4. But I do think that Kristen has the ability to pull that back up. She's
Yeah,
not dead in the water.
she is still someone that I would want to see win the game.
I want to see her go very far. Yeah, for sure.
Um, but now there are other people I want to see win the game more. I think it's gonna change every week until we get to the end. But okay, Miss Maris Meyer.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Maris is still a rat puppet, but this week she was a rat puppet with the brain. Okay, brain. Um, Maris. Okay, Maris made the right move. Literally, I want to say this. If she got rid of Alex this week, I would have gone down to a 2. She would have been that doo
Were
doo
you
dumb dumb.
not added two already? Was I at
No,
the
I
top?
was at a 3.
Oh, I
You
was
were
up
at
to two. That's right.
a 3. Um, because
Deserved.
that would have been awful. If Maris sent home Alex this week, you let the trio steamroll, and guess what? Like Cassidy's deal that you were gonna take, that she'll never nominate or backdoor you. Great. So a final 2? What?
It worried me so much when David was like, "Dang, she offered you that. You got to take that deal." I was like, "David, what are
I
you
was like, David,
talking
what are you
about?"
doing? Um, so yeah, like she
The
was quick to believe
brain.
that. And she was quick, like literally, I got so mad on every FaceTime on that she was with Anthony because she would say, like, Alex staying, he's not gonna come after you, which she was right about. He's not gonna come after you. He is a number against Dan. He clearly breaks up the house. Cassidy probably goes after me. And Anthony is like, yeah, but hear all the truth that Alex is saying? It's lies. He's still gonna work with Dan and he's gonna go after you and he's gonna comp his way to the end like he does every season. Great. Anthony, everything that you said there was bogus. And Maris and Anthony was like, yeah, like I just like Victoria wants Alex gone, therefore Alex just has to leave. And Maris is like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Screw the smart thing. Ha, let's stick it to him. Alex has to go. And I'm like, Maris, are you really that dumb? And the answer was no, she's not.
The answer
Because she
was
then
for a
talked to
period of
Alex.
time.
And after Alex talked to her, she was like, no, okay, it is smarter to get rid of, it is smarter to keep Alex. Okay. And then she talked to Victoria, and I was like, oh, okay, she is this dumb. because Victoria was like, Alex has to go. Are you kidding me? What? Victoria is
And
the
then she talked to David again.
we'll get to Victoria. And then Maris talked to David. And David was like, no. And Maris was like, oh my God, it's so true.
And then
Like
she
she
talked to
kept
Anthony.
on unlocking her brain power and cutting the strings. And then Anthony and Victoria would be like, nope, tie you back up. And
And
Maris
then
was
she
like,
talked to
all right,
Alex.
this is where
And
I
then she was like, okay, I
belong.
have to do this.
And then Alex and David keep cutting her free. And then Maris was like, no, I have to be a puppet. And the eviction, the eviction just happened right after they cut her strings loose. And I'm hoping that they stay free. And Maris is a bird that can fly. She could be a bird, not a rat. You know?
Rat fuck.
She can be a bird puppet. Okay.
No, we cut the strings, remember?
Um, yeah, oh, that's true. That's true. So for Maris, instead of going
She
down
can
to
still
a
be a rat, but
two,
she's not a rat puppet.
I am raising my score on Maris because I think Maris actually dodges a lot of bullets now. I am raising my score to a 5.
Me
High
too.
five, Maris. Good job. Use
I'm
that
also going to
brain.
I'm also going to go a 5, and I cannot believe that I am giving Maris a 5
Use
after
that brain, girl.
her shit show last week.
Come on, girl. Wash that doo doo dum dum down the drain from
Um,
last week.
I
Use
do,
that brain. Yes.
I do think she still like has to watch out a little bit. Um, especially like this week with Dan being HOH, with people being able to win safety. If one of them's not her,
Exactly. Yeah.
this could be trouble. 5.
Okay. Riley.
Riley,
Eat it up, girl.
but
Yes.
almost you ate it up too much. You almost ate
Yeah,
it up too
almost
much.
got a little too full. You almost got stuffed with how much you ate. Um, okay.
I literally in the beginning of yesterday, I was like, Riley's gonna mess this up, and she
Yeah,
almost
literally
did.
every like Riley tried to campaign for Alex, but in doing so said like, I really trust Dan. Cassidy's not gonna come after you, Maris, and Alex is a really strong competitor. I was like, Riley, what are you saying? Like she meant different things. But anyway, um, besides the point, Riley this week is I think the person that is closest to the Anthony position. Dan and Kristen need her. Alex and Haley need her. David and Maris trust her enough to not go after her before they go after Alex, Haley, David. Like Riley's in the middle. She's not controlling everything, but she's in the middle, and that's amazing. I started to I lowered my score these last 2 weeks because
Mhm.
she started to lose her standing with people. I mean, Dan straight up wanted her on the block this week. And Dan can deny that all he wants. No, with the way things fell out, with people that wanted, Dan said, "Great, my plan is to get Riley on the
Oh,
block and to
she
send
knows that
Riley home,"
because
and she knows that.
he
Yes,
because he told Alex that if he was on the block, he would get Riley up to send her home, and then Alex went right to Riley with that and said, "He's not with you. He's not with you."
yeah. Um, and now Riley is leaning a little more towards Dan because Dan put on a sob fest. So I'm like, okay, Riley, a little bit of a backbone would be nice, but it's good for
We're
your
getting
game.
there.
So, okay, okay, you
Baby
get a
steps.
pass. You get a pass. Um, but so Riley is in a really good spot, I think. She's connected to people, and I really like. I just hope for her that she maintains this, and then we see comp piece go girl Riley that we saw at the end of season 3. Because at this point of this season, she's playing a far better game than she was at this point in season 3.
Hmm.
I'm really happy for her, but now we need to see Riley from the end of season 3 really come back and play that same game.
But
Because right
also,
now
like
it's like
at
if
this point,
end of season 3 Riley was here and beginning of season 3 Riley was here, this whole game I feel that Riley has been like here, and we need to like okay, one more notch up in a little bit. For now, she's fine.
yeah, this whole like there are much huger fish to fry, where that Riley is not really in trouble at all. Um, Going into the following weeks, especially with Dan as HOH, like he just said Dan he's not gonna put her up, right?
No, he's never going to. The
So
people that
like
he's considering putting up on the block he only needs to consider 4 people realistically. And those four are
Well, five,
Alex,
not
David,
really.
Haley, Dan. He needs to consider five. And if there was a fifth one, like Riley would
Like
would
possibly six.
um oh, I would love for Dan to have to nominate Riley and Victoria. That would be chef's kiss beautiful.
Um,
So
I had the four.
no, I had the four.
Okay, I had the five. I'm going up to a six this week for Riley.
I'm also going up to a six this week. Um
Um,
and I think it can go higher.
I was just gonna say I was considering a
I
seven.
was heavily this is a very high six for me. I was considering a seven.
But I won't because I look at the other people with sevens and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Anthony's the other person with. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's how I feel. Um she has the ability to go even higher. She does have the ability though, if something goes wrong, that she could end up on the walk and that would not be good for her. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Victoria.
This week, Maris passed Queen of Doo Doo Poo Poo and placed it on Victoria's head and said, I will wear your crown proudly. I will be the next Doo Doo Floposaurus of an HOH of Big Brother Best to Never Win. Nuh-uh. How about worst to ever flop, Victoria?
Varys took their singular shared brain cell this week and used it fully. And
And said, I want it
Victoria,
back, Victoria. I want it back. Victoria, oh my God, girl. This was atrocious.
and
This was
she was close to doing something
atrocious.
smart. Like she was teetering on the edge, and then she didn't do it.
What I don't understand is, and this is what, like, listen, Anthony can say Victoria is her own person all he wants, and I do agree with that to a certain extent. However, Victoria at the beginning of this week talked to Alex. I was like, Alex, I'm not putting you up. Like, I'm with you. And then Anthony said, but Alex should go home. And Victoria was like, oh my God, you're right. And by the end of this week was like, no, Alex has to go home. I'm like, nothing has changed between you and Alex. Alex is still vowing his loyalty. He never did anything against you.
Yeah,
So the only thing that changed was Anthony telling you that Alex needs to go. That was the only thing that changed. And
they
I
were
literally
like,
go,
okay, well, they were like, Alex is up, so I guess we have to evict him now. And I'm like,
no, I'm
no,
like, that's not how it works. Like he was
you
so clearly with
don't.
you. He was so clearly with you. Cassidy, you did not talk to before this. This is an example. Like, yeah, let's compare David and Victoria between this vote and how Anthony has handled them and how they reacted. Anthony went to Victoria and said, Alex is a threat. Alex should go home because Cassidy is my ally. And Victoria said, okay, and was gunning hard, like not even like, okay, yeah, Alex can go. No, like texting people like Alex cannot freaking stay. He is a huge threat. He is a wild animal and he will take over and eat us all. What? Stupid. David, on the other hand, said, okay, Dave, okay, Anthony, yes, I agree with you. However, Cassidy has never been a number for me. I do not know what she is doing. Alex is very convincingly giving me all of these very concrete facts and points as to why he does not trust this trio, why they need to go, and why he's with me. So I understand that you think that he's not with you, but I'm telling you that he is with you. And me doing this is not going against you. It is literally doing what's best for my game without screwing you over. And if you think it's screwing you over, that is your own brain telling you that. And it is. So Victoria flopped, and Victoria flopped hard on the sands of the beaches of the beach. Um, Victoria gets a 3 from me. I
Three
don't
for me
care if
too.
she's not going home. This was some of the worst, like literally up there with Maris's HOH. Not as bad, but atrocious.
Literally terrible. Like she was so close to playing her own game. Like literally
She was right
so.
there.
And then Anthony said, "No, don't do that." And she was like, "Okay, fine." So I
Ugh.
don't know what to
And
say.
like, listen, like she gets mad that people don't text her.
Oh, I
It's
I
because they
had a
know
three
they
last
can
week.
go,
I said I
huh?
went down to a three. I'm staying at my three, I guess.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I was fully prepared to go up this week too.
Well, we were both at fours last week.
No, you were at a five and I was at a three.
Oh geez.
Mhm. Actually, I did say I was gonna go up this week. When like last week when we were doing rankings, I said, okay, Victoria's HOH, she's showing some mental capacity.
No.
He decided actually that was just a tease.
Yeah. So let's look at this board. Currently,
Oh
Anthony in the power position. I want Anthony out. Quit your whining. Quit your whining. You literally have the highest score. Quit your whining. David right behind him.
what if you showed me these
Gasping.
rankings last week? I would have been like, what the
I
hell
was like, what happened? Yeah, David second highest score and deservedly so. David is the player that we want to see. Like David and Alex, logical players that are here to have a good time. Yes. Thank you. Good job. We love it. Riley almost ate too much. However, it's just in a little bit of a food coma right now. She can recover. You know
it's
what I
much.
mean? She didn't overstuff. So she ate. Good job, Riley.
But she's in a
Um,
food coma, so she did overstuff.
no, but she's not like her stomach did not explode. Like that's the
Oh,
next
okay, that's the line.
she's just like she's full. She needs to digest a bit, you know? Um, okay, down at the bottom, Cassidy. Flop. Yeah, you just didn't talk to anyone, and you counted on Dan to do it for you. Not gonna get you far. Funny enough, Cassidy got evicted on the same day in season 4, which is day 24. That just happened to be the finale. So that's a fun little fact. She's also played the exact same amount of days as Cade. For those of you who will get that reference, because I'm not diving into that in the episodes very much. Um, that's a fun tidbit for you. Then we have Victoria, Queen of the Flops, Queen of the doo-doo-doo-doo heads, and Dan.
We need our metaphor for Alex. We need to continue it.
Alex has sunken down to the bottom of the sea, found the city of Atlantis, gotten secret powers, and has raised the shipwreck back up. But it's a new ship. It is a new ship, and this is named the SS David Fosbender. And unfortunately, this week,
Okay.
Dan on his pirate ship is going to get a cannonball and blow it up, but we'll see.
Okay. So he was on a burning ship. He ignored the lifeboat. He went down with the ship. He drowned.
He
Went down.
drowned,
Went
found
down to Atlantis.
Atlantis,
Got powers to
raised
rise
the
him up and
shipwreck
survive.
of the
Rose a
SS
new
David
ship
Fosbender.
called the SS. Rose a new shipwreck because David was a wreck.
Yes, yeah, rose the new shipwreck. Yeah,
So yeah. So got on board with David, the SS David, and they're seeing pirate ship Dan in the distance.
yeah, yeah. Dan's the pirate that's about to fire a cannonball at them. Okay, that's enough for this week.
Okay, it is 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay,
And with
bye.
that, I need to go pack. So